Alrighty, everyone, welcome back to another episode of In Depth with David. This is Bruins recap number 8, where we are going to be recapping game 4 between the Bruins and the New York Islanders in the second round playoff series. And once again, I'm joined by my cousin Bryan. Bryan, how are you doing today?
Doing all right. It was a tough game last night, though. Tough game.
For sure. It would have been nice to have gone up 3-1. As we said, we took care of business and took one at the Coliseum, but you feel like this is one that kind of got away.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, we'll get into it, but I mean, we could have had a 2-goal lead, or yeah, I don't know. We'll get into it, but it was a game we probably could have won, but we didn't, and we didn't play that great towards the end either. So, we'll live with the result.
So to start off on a positive note, the first 10 minutes of the game were pretty physical. There's two fights, which you see two fights, it seems like every season now, instead of two fights in the first 10 minutes. And the first one really caught me off guard as Taylor Hall fought Scott Mayfield.
Yeah, that was shocking. I think they said it was his first fight since he was 19 years old or something. Which
since he was Jason Tatum's age.
that was shocking. But I mean, honestly, I don't want to see Taylor Hall fighting, because if he breaks his hand off a helmet or something like that, that would be bad news.
Just like, I know we were talking about other sports, but that's literally what Cam Newton just did for the Patriots. He broke his hand off a helmet. So it's funny you use that, mention that situation. But yeah, Taylor Hall's first fight since 2011. And him and Mayfield were chirping at each other. I didn't think anything would come out of it, but you see Taylor Hall drop the gloves. He pretty much got dominated in this fight. He got the takedown, but you want to be careful in situations like that because you don't want them to get hurt.
I mean, obviously, I like the passion. That's nice to see. But, I'd rather have him on the ice than serving 5 minutes in the box. And, just if he were to get injured or anything like that, that would have been awful. But it was nice to see, the heart and willing to do that.
Right. And I remember, I think we went to the Cup against the Blackhawks. That series against Pittsburgh, Bergeron got into a fight with Malkin in one of the games. And he pretty much got his butt kicked. But the thing that concerned me the most was he had a big gouge on his nose from that fight. And it's just if these punches land in the eye or somewhere else, you could break an orbital, like you said, or just you want your best player still on the ice. And again, it's something nice to see where you like the passion and, you don't mind someone like Bergeron, just like a quiet guy dropping the gloves to send a message. But you want to keep these guys on the ice. So hopefully we don't see Hall fight again for the rest of the playoffs. And the other fight that happened, which probably isn't more of a surprise to people, but Joe Tenorti fought Matt Martin.
Yeah, Tenorti and two big fellas. And I think Tenorti got the takedown, but I don't think he necessarily had the upper hand for the fight.
Right. It was pretty much the same result as the first one. Matt Martin got some good blows in, and then Tenorti got the takedown. But as I said, you just got to love it because this is the epitome of playoff hockey. It's just a nice throwback to see, all these scrums after the whistles and the gloves dropping.
Yeah.
And you go.
Yeah, you don't always see a ton of fights in playoffs either because, people don't want to get injured and whatnot. But you could tell that the series and every single whistle, there's been scrums and shoving matches. So you're really due to have a few fights break out.
And it's another thing where you just get sick and tired of facing the same people game after game after game in these playoff series because it's the same thing with other sports. Like you see the NBA gets shitty in the playoffs. Baseball series get shitty at times. Like if you're facing the Red Sox and the Yankees are facing each other in a series, whether it be regular season or playoffs. I mean, you keep facing the same team day after day. Tensions are bound to rise. So it's nice to see. It's also nice to see the refs not break it up. I liked how they just, let them take care of their own business. So just a positive there. And then another positive for the Bruins is they end up going on the power play after this as Matt Barzal, who this would not be his last time in the news in this game, high sticks Curtis Lazone. Or Jeremy Lauzon.
Yeah.
I mixed up Curtis Lazar and Jeremy Lauzon. And but it was Lauzon who got high sticks, so the Bruins go on the power play.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to get a power play early, get into the groove, try to get the power play going early.
So on this power play, the Bruins were not able to do too much as the Islanders pretty much had them on lockdown, which would be the story of the night. The Islanders, not only on this opportunity, but throughout the game, did a good job of picking up passes by the Bruins and just doing a great job forechecking, as they've really done this whole series up until this point. Pastrnak, who this would also not be his last time in the news in the first period, had a shot, but it was a shoulder save on Varlamov on this power play, so nothing comes out of it. But after that, McAvoy misses with his pass in a different sequence to Riley across the zone. And this is about what I was just talking about these turnovers. As the Islanders create a turnover, Brock Nelson keeps it in the Bruins zone, centers it for Bailey, who gives it to Beauvillier, who's over on the left. Beauvillier closes in on Rask, tries to backhand it, but Rask denies him with his pad. Beauvillier maybe should have shot this one sooner. He kind of had it was one-on-one, him and Rask, and he had the whole net to himself. He had a chance to probably shoot it early. He probably should have taken that, but he tried to go for the backhand, and thank God, because Tuukka was ready for it, and he made the save.
Yep. And overall, another pretty decent game by Tuukka, too.
And I think that just speaks to a point where we talked about, I think in the first game, where Pasta had that nice goal where he delayed it. It's just really hard as a hockey player, as you said, as someone who's played hockey, to just have the moment in time when everything's going on to realize, okay, maybe I should shoot this now, or maybe I should delay this.
Yeah, for sure. It's you don't have very much time to think through decisions, and it's just a gift, I guess, for some people that they're able to slow the game down and play at their own pace. Especially
when you're going up against a great goalie like Rask, who is pretty good at guessing what the offensive player is going to do, in my opinion. And just a great play by him, and he's just been rock solid in net, just keeping us cool, and that's not going to take away anything from how Varlamov has been doing too, as he had another solid game in net, which we'll get into.
Yeah, it's been a battle of the goalies.
For sure. Did you expect that coming into the series when they made the obviously they started off with Sorokin, but once we realized that the battle between goalies was going to be Varlamov versus Rask for the rest of the series, did you think it was going to be a tough battle in net for the series?
Yeah, because I knew Varlamov put up great numbers in the regular season. He's a solid goalie, and goalies that play for Barry Trotz are gonna have good numbers too, just because of the defensive system they run. So I'm not surprised at all that we are seeing such a tight, low scoring series where the goalies are really what it comes down to, just a battle of the goalies. It hasn't surprised me at all.
Now we'll talk about the biggest lowlight for the night of the Bruins, the biggest missed opportunity probably of the playoffs, probably in a while for this team. Do you want me to talk about it, or do you want to talk about it?
I mean, I just Bergeron found Pasta wide open. Varlamov nowhere to be seen. No, just didn't even know where the puck was, and Pastrnak hits the far post with a wide open net. That's you will not see during a game where the goalie is not pulled, you will not see a more wide open net than that. It's just see, we were talking about how he can at times he'll stop and delay and patience or whatever. He just wanted to get that on net as fast as he could. And I don't know if he realized. Well, he definitely didn't realize how open the net was, but if he took a second, he might have.
He didn't realize how much time he had. Yeah. He did not need to one-time that. That was a mistake, and Pasta will be the first one to tell you that. It looked like pasta was going to be on the menu here, but as the waiter was bringing the pasta over to the customer, tumbled all over the ground.
Yep, down he goes, and that's our Rocket Richard winner. I mean, he led the league in goals in one season, and he just couldn't bury it.
You will never see. I'm willing to put this in stone. Write this in stone. You will never see Pastrnak miss an empty netter for the rest of his career after something like that. That's just a once in a lifetime opportunity. And of course, it happened last night in a huge playoff game. But I mean, you hate to see it.
Yeah, and you hate to say it too, but that also probably would have had a huge impact on the outcome of the game. If good chance the Bruins win if he puts that in the net.
So just to go back to the beginning of that play, Pasta made a physical play up against the boards to keep the puck in the zone. Marchand got it to Bergeron, who was in center. Bergeron delayed what he was going to do. No one knew if he was going to shoot it or pass it. And when I was watching the highlights just a few minutes ago, I paused it. Bergeron drew 3 defenders.
That's a great play.
and the goalie's attention, and Poster just wide open on the left. No one but him in the wide open net, and the Bruins meme continues of not being able to capitalize on empty nets. He one-times it, goes right off the end of the post. He had way more time to just take his time and just wrist it in. It was a layup goal. It's like practice, and goes off the post, and Varlamov puts a glove on it. And yeah, you're an angst just listening to it. And so
I don't even want to think about it.
And this was really a turning point, honestly. I mean, I hate to say it, but you kind of think at this point, like, yeah, it's still 0-0, but God, like, you got to think Islanders have all the momentum at this point. They really did.
Yeah, they did.
I don't want to.
It kills missing in a wide open net because you don't know how many of those chances you're going to get throughout a game. I mean, you don't know how many chances you're going to get like that throughout a whole season, and he hits a post on a wide open net, and deflating.
Yeah, like I remember a couple years ago when we were in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Hurricanes. I think it was like game 3 of that series where the Hurricanes missed like 4 wide open nets or something like that. But like none of them were as wide open as that. And it was so painful to watch. Pasa just fell down to the ice in disappointment. He knew right away he blew it. And I don't want to say I knew we were going to lose at this point, but it's just not a good feeling. I definitely didn't think that, but like,
Yeah, it wasn't a good sign.
Right. So after that opportunity, there was one more opportunity for the Bruins in the first period to make something happen. Chris Wagner had a wraparound chance from behind the net, got it in front, saved Varlamov, but then he backhanded it right to Lazar in front, but Lazar couldn't do anything with it. It's just great goaltending by Varlamov, and that's what he did all night. I do like how the Bruins are taking it more to the net, though, because before this, most of our goals in the series were from wrist shots and from out near the blue line.
Yeah, I want to say honestly, throughout like the entirety of the game, the fourth line actually for us like spent a good amount of time in the offensive zone, and they actually looked pretty good. Even though I don't think any of them had points, and I don't know if the fourth line has really scored any goals all playoffs, but at least last night, I think they looked pretty good last night. They had the puck in the offensive zone quite a bit,
and they're the ones that are matching up against the Islanders' first line, right? If I'm correct.
Sometimes I see Barzal out there against our third line, and I don't like that because Richie does. People on our third line don't have the speed to just keep up with him, like Richie. But it's either line 1 or line 2 that they're out most against.
I like what we're seeing from the fourth line. I mean, look, as you said, they're not lighting up the lamp. As you said, I don't know how many points they have in this playoffs, if any, but. They're very physical. They did well against Washington in that department, and they're doing a great job forechecking. Obviously, they're playing game 3 with Corrali blocking the shot with his ankle on the PK was great. So, I honestly love what I'm seeing from all the lines. Maybe a little bit more from the third line, but look, I mean, they're putting up numbers too, and they were a big reason why we were in those games 1 and 2 in the Washington series. Yeah, with DeBrusk and Coyle generating offense.
Yeah.
So after one period, the Bruins had 11 shots to the Islanders 7. So we head into the second period, and Matt Martin held Marchand. So there's a 2-minute power play for Boston. And on this power play, David Krejci has a slapper from near the blue line, save Varlamov. It actually deflected off Cizikas, and it went through Marchand, but Bergeron, who was in front of the net, couldn't jab it in. But this just speaks to the theme of the series where it's just these crazy bounces that really just dictated how every game has gone. And it almost happened there again. So after that, on the same power play from the back of the net, with the perfection line on offense, Marchand gets it to Pastrnak, who fires a wrister from the left faceoff circle that's blocked. There's a scramble for the loose puck in front. Both Marchand, who was in front screening the goalie, and Bergeron also crashed the net. They're hacking away at the puck. And the puck finds Krejci on the right side, and as it looks like the net is about to become dislodged, he just flicks it in, and the Bruins go up 1-0 on a power play goal.
Yep, and Marchand was doing a little stick work. I think that was also part of the reason the net was coming up. He had a stick jammed between Varlamov and like the post, and it was a bit of contact, and it got challenged.
So that's legal, where like the net can be moving, and you can still score in a play like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. but I mean, I did personally think Marchand was kind of holding Varlamov like with his stick a bit on that play, but I mean,
So that was the next thing because the Islanders end up challenging this play for goalie interference on Marchand, as it looked like he did impair Varlamov's ability to make the play on the puck. He was whacking at his pads, and then his stick got caught between the Varlamov's skate and one of the posts, so Varlamov had a tough time kind of moving over. Both the announcers thought this play was going to get overturned. I personally thought so too, but call stands and the Bruins are up 1-0 after all that.
Yep, and on a power play too, because the Islanders lost the challenge, so we get a power play.
Yeah, Bleacher Report has it written that the power play is defined, or the penalty infraction for the Islanders is defined as too many men on the ice, because why not?
Guess gonna put something down, I guess.
Maybe unsportsmanlike. I don't even know.
Failed
I don't know
challenge.
Failed challenge. Yeah, that'd probably be the easiest, the most straightforward. But are you surprised that they didn't overturn this call, or is it something like how they do it in football, where an argument could have been made for the play to be overturned, but there wasn't enough evidence to overturn it?
So yeah, and I guess like I mean, I don't know if I'm pretty sure it is like this in other sports where like the call on the ice or the call on the field or whatever is like it's just gonna be harder to overturn. Whereas like if that was called goalie interference and the Bruins challenged it, it probably would have stayed goalie interference, just because like a lot of times the ruling on the ice or the ruling on the play at the time, you have a tough time overturning it if it's not anything super obvious. So I understand why it wasn't overturned, but like you said, and like the announcers were saying, I thought it honestly was going to be overturned.
How do you like challenges being in the game of hockey? Because obviously we've seen it in football. That was really the first sport to start it. It's been in baseball for about 7 or 8 years now, and I think it's been in the NHL the last couple of seasons as well as the NBA. So how do you like it in the game of hockey?
I mean, I like it for like goals and things like that, but and I don't mind it for offsides and whatnot. But when an offsides call is like, when the puck's offsides or the player's offsides by like millimeters,
Right.
and it has no effect on the play, and you can go back and challenge that. I don't know how much I like that, but for goals and things like that, I think it's pretty good.
You can only imagine how triggered I get playing NHL 21, where I ice the puck because I'm 2 inches behind center ice, when in real life they don't call that.
Yeah, they get away with that in real life. I feel like when I played, I don't know, the refs did not do that for us at all. We had to get that over the red line.
Hate to see it, but what you do love to see is Krejci finally getting a goal in the playoffs. Playoff Krejci has arisen in the second round of the NHL playoffs. Thank you, Sean, for the support, by the way. We appreciate it. We'll have to get you on this if we make it to the Stanley Cup. You have to do it. You have to.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, good to have him on the scoring goals or whatever, but yeah, I don't know. It was a good goal, but could have been overturned. But yeah, we had the power play after the failed challenge by the Islanders.
Are you surprised that it's taken Krejci this long to get going? Because I want to say he's had some assists up until this point, but I just, I know he's like mid-30s, like 35 or something, but that's just like his MO and his career has been playoff Krejci. He led the league in points in both when we won the Cup against the Canucks and went to the Cup against the Blackhawks. But are you surprised it's taken him this long to get going?
Yeah, I mean, especially considering how the end of his season was going, because I think he led the Bruins in points I think since the trade deadline, he led the Bruins in points. But yeah, in the playoffs, I don't know. He's been fine, but he hasn't been, playoff Krejci that we've come to know in Boston. He's been fine. I won't complain about him, but he just hasn't been playoff Krejci.
I agree. And just another good thing about that goal is the Bruins are crashing the net. So once again, good things happen when you crash the net, and that's what's happened for both teams in the series.
Yeah, especially when you have Varlamov, he's playing real good and he's hot, so you want to crash the net and just get anything you can, try to get anything you can by him.
So right after we scored, the Bruins go on another power play as the Islanders, as Brian said, lost the penalty. So they get a too many men on the ice penalty because they had, I guess, too many men on the ice, whatever that means. And Bruins end up doing nothing on this power play, which is an underrated missed opportunity in this game, I'd argue, because you already scored a power play goal. Right after the goal, you get another power play and you can score 2 with a man advantage. I mean, Not too many people are talking about that, but that's a
Yes,
pretty big letdown.
somehow that like just not doing anything on that power play for whatever reason just felt like a huge momentum killer. I don't know what it was, but you could just feel it. It was not looking good after that.
And right out of the box, Jordan Eberle races to Rask. Matt Grizzlick, aka the Grizzly Bear, gives chase. Jordan Eberle spins, but his backhand is sent away by Rask. So just one of those funky plays where I've seen it happen before, where the guy comes right out of the box and gets a free breakaway or gets a great chance on net in transition. But great job by Grizzlick to close in, and Rask was just stone cold in net.
Yeah, you hate to see that though. Finding the guy straight out of the box, it's so unlucky. But at least Grizzlick was there to stop it and harass him.
So in a later sequence, the fourth line is out against the Islanders' first line, as we were talking about earlier. And Matt Barzal has the puck. He's getting harassed by Curtis Lazar. He skates behind the net, and there's already a delayed penalty at this point in the play, as I believe Lazar gave him a little whack to the schnoz or whatever. And he fires it. I'm channeling my inner Jack Edwards. I didn't even know that was a synonym for nose until I listened to Bruins broadcast. Really? So there you go. So Barzal's behind the net. He fires it to Palmieri, who is in front, and Kyle fires it home. So just like that, after the Bruins had a 1-0 lead for a little bit, later in the second period, the Islanders tie at 1-1.
That was just crushing, but it was a great play by Barzal while he was getting harassed by Lazar. He never stopped. He was like working his edges, stop, start, like just had the puck for quite a while, and then he found Palmieri out front. He's such a great player, and
Bruins killer.
We would love to have him on the team, but we didn't draft him.
And that's just that play right there, as much as I hate to say it, it's just an instance of, the fourth line was out against the first line, but it's just, talent outbeats hard work in some instances, because as we saw in that play, Lazar, I keep saying Lazar, I'm going to get those mixed up for the rest of the time. Lazar did a great job harassing Barzal.
Yeah, he was doing everything he could.
Forcing him to spin and stuff, and then Barzal just was able to use the speed to get past him, so Lazar had to delegate to trying to whack at him with the stick. Delayed penalty, and then Palmieri was in front, and he just fired it by Rask. So just a great play by the Islanders, using their speed to the advantage. Obviously, Barzal finally got the monkey off his back in the last game, scoring a goal, and he basically won the game all by himself last night for the Islanders.
It's just not what we want to see as Bruins fans.
This is just getting going. This series has been like the ghost of Christmas past for Don Sweeney and the Bruins, just seeing what could have been in 2015. And I hate to keep bringing it up, but, Islanders tie it there 1-1. Got to give it to Matt. He was resilient on that play. This was a weird goal, though, because the light didn't go off. I didn't even know that they scored.
I don't even remember that. I just remember Barzal just, going to work on Lazar.
Yeah, usually the goal light obviously goes off, and it didn't, and then everyone's just standing there, and I'm
yeah, I think I remember. Wasn't there a broken stick on the play too, or am I thinking of I might be thinking of the second Islanders goal. Something weird happened in one of the goals, I remember.
Yeah, this one, it was just weird because it seemed like just play stopped for no reason. There was no whistle or whatever, and then you just see everyone celebrate. And I'm like, okay, they probably scored, but let's see the replay. And then it shows the puck going in the net. I'm like, yeah, they definitely scored. So This is unfortunate. So after all that, though, Islanders tie it 1-1. And then Barzal is in the headlines once again as him and Krejci get into a little get together. They're talking about what they want to have for dinner, and Krejci didn't appreciate that Barzal thinks Wendy's is better than McDonald's.
No, he didn't like that one bit.
They were jousting in the corner for a bit. Krejci slashes Barzal, and the Islanders go on the power play. But once again, let me just interrupt this daily program to bring you to the dumb penalty segment of the day. It goes to David Krejci.
Yeah, it does. I mean, he was getting absolutely harassed.
Absolutely.
Fired 5 or 6 pretty obvious cross checks right into Krejci's back, and the refs didn't do anything. So Krejci's like, you know what, I'll just do something myself then. And it wasn't very smart. I mean, he could have gave him a whack in the shin pads or something. Probably wouldn't have got called, but hit him right where it hurts. You're going to get called for that 10 times out of 10.
And I think I texted that to you, but even while that play was going on, I usually looked at where the puck is, but I wasn't even looking at the puck. I was just focusing on Krejci and Barzal. You see them slashing each other. Yeah, Barzal was giving him a few jabs, but then Krejci kind of just let his anger get the best of him and went a little too hard. And then after the penalty was called, he tried to whack Barzal again. And then obviously, what are you doing there, David? So nothing good came out of that. And he actually got fined $5,000 for that play, which I thought was a little ridiculous.
Yeah, and Krejci also initially had a 5-minute major for that, but it got downgraded to 2-minute for some reason.
I forgot about that too. I would have been pretty mad if that was a major. If Krejci didn't do that final slash, maybe you could get away with. I mean, they probably wouldn't have called anything. But if you call anything, send them both to the box. But I mean, like, come on, Barzal, like he was doing the same exact thing 7 times to him before that, and it's just concerning though that we often talked about how so far in the playoffs, Marchand's letting his emotions get to him. Now we're letting someone like Krejci, who's usually pretty even keeled, let his emotions get to him. I mean, I hope this isn't a concern, but you got to think it is. I mean, it's leading us to have to play more time in the penalty kill.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the theme of the series has just been the dumb penalty. Or the theme of our playoffs thus far has been the dumb penalties.
So Krejci goes to the box. When I heard major, my jaw dropped because, as you text me, Orlov gets a double? Was it a double minor he got on that play on Kevin Miller? It's been so long. So make it make sense, NHL. But the Bruins kill off the power play. And one final opportunity for the Islanders right before the period ends as Nelson skates past Clifton and he passes it to Bailey, who's centered, and Bailey's one-timer is saved by Rask with the 5-hole. Huge save by Tuukka. And, he was just locked in all night. He had another fantastic outing, even though we lost.
Yeah, he had his stick right where it should be, right covering his 5-hole, so that was a great save.
And after that, the shots were 21-21 after 2 periods. So the Islanders in that period outshot us 14-10. And that sounds about right. I mean, right after we got that first goal, it just, Islanders took over, it seemed like.
Yeah. Not doing anything with that power play after the Islanders lost the challenge really killed us.
So we head to the third period, and Beauvillier had a high sticking penalty and McAvoy at the end of the second, so the Bruins have a power play that carried into the third. And about 30 seconds in, Marchand can't keep the defense out, but Bergeron gets the loose puck, and he just jabs the stick at it, and it ends up going on net. And then he tried to follow it up with his own rebound, but couldn't do anything with it. And on that same play, Marchand had an opportunity right in front, and he took a second to delay to shoot it. But Pat saved for Varlamov. But you just love, seeing them take it to the net. I thought they did a good job with that. Great opportunities. It's just Varlamov is making the saves.
Yeah, and like for that sequence, it's like we weren't even on the penalty kill. We were like controlling play so good, and it's that honestly ended up being one of our best shifts of the period, which is kind of sad.
Right, and then after that, Beauvillier had an opportunity where he centered the puck for Ryan Pulock, and Pulak's wrister went through traffic, and this is just another phenomenal save by Tuukka. As he saves it, it hit him right in the spoked B, and I don't know how the heck he saw this one, but he just makes the save on it.
Yep, he's so calm back there, He knows where he should be, and he just gets in position, and if you're in position, there's a good chance the puck's going to hit you.
And I think he summed it up really well in that last podcast we did, where he's really calm, but throughout his career, he's also been aggressive when necessary.
Yeah, he's not afraid to, if there's a loose puck or anything like that, to come out and give a whack at it, or things like that. He's a good balance, and I think for the most part, he's calm in most circumstances when it is beneficial, and he knows when to flip it on and be aggressive.
I just still can't believe how he sees this puck through all that traffic. I mean, there's 3-4 bodies right in front of him, even his own players, and just is it just in that situation? I don't know if you ever played goalie, but in that situation, is it just more guessing, or is there some training you can do to determine where the puck is?
I'd say you just gotta be in good position. I don't know if it's necessarily guessing, but
I mean, hope not.
Yeah, you just gotta be in position. I'm sure you can train to look around screens and whatnot, but I mean, you probably didn't even see anything at all. So you just gotta be in the right position, and if you're in the right position, there's a good chance you're gonna get hit with the puck.
And then after that, Do you want to explain how the Islanders took the lead?
I mean, I just know Barzell hit it like out of midair. There was like a shot from the point, and I don't even really know what happened, and it was discouraging to see, to say the least.
So the theme of this series is the unlucky bounces, and this time it haunts the Bruins as Mayfield takes a wrister from the blue line that gets blocked by Coyle. So a great job with the forecheck, but the puck finds Barzal on the left side. It was about to drop to the ground, so this goes back to this whole game of inches where if the puck drops to the ground, Barzal can't baseball swing it out of the air, but Barzal hits it out of the air, and it goes up and in as Chuka can't get over in time. And just like that, the Islanders take the lead 2-1. And that was their first lead of the game. And it's with 6 minutes and 57 seconds left to go in regulation.
Crushing. Absolutely brutal. And the fact it's Barzal again, just rubbing salt in the wound.
He was like LeBron in the playoffs. You could make an argument he single-handedly won this game for the Islanders.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure you could, because the tying goal and the go-ahead goal, he was, the main reason why they both happened. So you could make an argument for sure. You could also make an argument for David Pastrnak being the reason the Bruins lost too.
Oh, thought we weren't going to talk about that again. God, just crushing. But I hate to say it, but we all kind of knew something like this was coming. I love the Bruins. Our luck was bound to run out at some point. As we talked about in Game 3, we played well enough to, win that game in regulation. If we could have scored another goal, obviously it was discouraging where Barzal scored the game-tying goal with like 5 minutes left in that game. But they were just giving us the business in overtime, and you just felt like in that game, the Islanders were going to win. Yep. And after we scored this first goal in this game, it was just really all Islanders. I mean, we had a few decent opportunities. And it wasn't to say like the Islanders were blowing us away in terms of like stats, but you could just feel the tide shifting towards them, and they end up cashing in an unlucky bounce here.
It's just the kind of hockey they play, and especially after Barzal's goal. I mean, after his goal, the rest of that third period, they did not give us anything. They were, we would dump the puck in, they would just break it right back out, and they were just shutting us down at every chance they got, and that's the way they play.
How do you try and beat something like this, like an ultra defensive minded team? Because we're having trouble really doing it in this series. We kind of broke it open a bit at the end of Game 1 and obviously in the third period of Game 2, but they really shut us down both times in the Coliseum. Obviously, we won 2-1 in the Game 3, and we lost, eventually 4-1 in Game 4. But how do you solve this? Because it's becoming a problem.
I mean, I don't know. You just, once you get the puck in the zone, you just got to forecheck as hard as you can. Skate hard, check, which we've been doing, but it's just, I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. Barry Trotz is a great coach, and he knows what he's doing. And I'm not an NHL coach, but I think Bruce, hopefully, he can figure it out.
And that's another thing too. And I think I texted that to you, where it's just so impressive. And I have to tip my cap to the Islanders as a Bruins fan, how they never act desperate. No matter if they're up or if they're down, they're always cool, calm, and collected. And I think both of their wins this series, they actually came back from being down early. So
yeah, honestly, after the Islanders scored, my initial thoughts were like, oh, I mean, we've seen it multiple times this playoffs where once we're behind, we kind of step on the gas and we try to tie the game up as best as we can. But it didn't happen last night just because the Islanders are just a smothering team.
My theory is we're trying to beat the Islanders at their own game, which is, at least in these last couple, which is trying to be defensive-minded and just, have spurts of being able to crash the net or, like, have offensive opportunities. I don't think that's a winning strategy. I think it's very dangerous to try to beat your opponent at their own game, because if you can't do that, then you're screwed. Whereas if you have a different mindset or a different game plan, well, at least you can go down swinging.
Yeah, for sure. It was just tough last night. They were smothering.
So after that, the Bruins end up pulling the goalie with about 70 seconds left in the game. It did not work, as Marchand tried to do something in the opposing zone, and then as they did all night, they just, excellent job, excellent coaching, excellent forechecking, excellent defense, and Cizikas ends up with the puck. He buried it home from close to center ice on a weak little backhand, but it trickles in. 3-1 Islanders, and that would pretty much do it. So There will be another empty netter, but before I talk about that one, it's just, how do you feel about? I mean, obviously that's been a thing since the beginning of hockey. I feel like where when teams are desperate and down one at the end of the game, you pull the empty net or you pull the goalie, so you get an extra skater. Do you like that? Because I personally, this might be a hot take, but I just think that's too risky of a gamble. Like, yes, it's 6-on-5, but like one if the defender gets their stick on the puck, the game's pretty much over, in my opinion.
Yeah, I see both sides, but I don't know. At that point, you're doing anything you can to get a goal. I mean, you're already down. If they score again, it's like, you're still down. So just got to do anything you can, I think, to score and tie up the game. Because, 6-on-5 better than being 5-on-5 when it comes to offensive opportunities, which was not necessarily the case last night, which was too bad.
Fair enough. Yeah. I just,
I get where you're coming from for sure, though.
Right. I mean, I just want to keep him in net just so we don't have to worry about any loose pucks going on or anything. But as you said, that makes sense. Absolutely. Just, throw something at the wall and hope it sticks. But Cizikas will make it 3-1. And then the hypocrite Peugeot, after the Bruins kept the net empty, would score an empty netter as well with about 4 seconds left, making it 4-1. And the reason why I'm mad about this, and I think I texted this to you, but like, maybe I'm not being a sore loser by saying this, but this just made me so angry because Peugeot is the guy who started a fight at the end of game 1 because Hall scored an empty netter. God forbid anyone scores an empty netter, but when it's him, there's no problems. I just wish Marchand just came out of nowhere and just kind of trucked him or something. I would love that.
Yeah, without a suspension, of course.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, when the refs aren't looking like they do for Tom Wilson.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you did not appreciate that at all. The Peugeot late.
No, I don't know. Like, it just made me think of game 1, and then there's 4. I'm all for it. Like, if any other player did it, I'd be fine.
For sure. Yeah.
But he's the one. I don't think Hall did anything to him on that play before, and he's just like cross-checking him. It's like, what a hypocrite. At least be consistent.
Let's hope we just can answer in game 5 with a win.
So Islanders win 4-1, and all the nerds, as we said right before we went live, are going to think this game is a blowout and the Bruins suck. But it was close. It was ugly, but it was close. But close, but too far. And this series is tied at 2 games apiece, and it's now a 3-game series heading into the all-important Game 5 tomorrow night. Yep. Rask had 30 saves on 32 shots. He played phenomenal. Both goals, I think we can say, weren't his fault.
Yep.
And then Varlamov had 28 saves on 29 shots. So once again, he just put in a fantastic outing. And, he's just
wish we were still facing Sorokin.
Right. I mean, after all those rebounds he gave up in game 1.
Yeah. And it's just, I mean, you don't want to say it's a must win, but it kind of is game 5 for either team because winning two games in a row at this point would be unlikely.
Right. I mean, it's going to be tough if we lose game 5. I don't even want to put that under the universe, but I just did. If we lose game 5 to go into the Coliseum to try and force a game 7, look, I thought the stars were going to align for us when we went down 3-2 against the Blues, and then we go into their stadium when they had clinched on their home ice and we win. And then it's game 7 on our home ice, and it's like, okay, like this is exactly what we wanted. Like we worked hard for this opportunity. It doesn't always work out like that, as we saw in 2019. So the point that I'm trying to make is you have to take care of the home ice.
Yeah, for sure. That's what we just got to win our 2 home games and we win the series. Or we could, win tomorrow and then win game 6 and win the series. But we just got to win on home ice and we take it home. We take the series win home.
And I don't think Carlo will be ready for game 4. At least I hope he's not ready. Please don't rush him. Or game 4 when I'm saying game 5.
Yeah.
Kevin Miller probably won't be ready either.
Yeah, that's too bad. Though two big losses, 2 big bodies back there that would be great against the Islanders team. Heavy hitting hockey style they play, but it's tough. And yeah, we just gotta win game 5. we really do.
That's all it comes down to. You don't want to fall behind in the series, and it's different. 1-0 versus 3-2. I mean, the crowd better be rocking because I don't think they were as loud last night, but they were at points. But look, the Coliseum really brought it. And,
yeah, certainly didn't. If we lose on home ice in Game 5, that is just going to be absolutely deflating. That would just be terrible.
Would that affect the players' psyches too, do you think, getting into Game 6? Or do you think they just try and shake it off and move forward? Because that screw with me, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, geez, I don't know. I think they'll try their best to shake it off, but it's got to be, deep down disappointing that they lost on home ice.
I apologize, though. I'm putting all this negative energy in the universe. We're gonna take the W tomorrow.
Oh, let's hope so.
So let's get into our predictions for Game 5 and how it's going to go.
I'm going to predict the Bruins win because we have to. We got to win. I'm going to say we're going to be up 2-1. We're going to score an empty net, make it 3-1. 3-1 Bruins. That's my prediction.
Okay, I will say Bruins will win. No surprise there. I'm going to say I think the Islanders might score a goal within the first 5 minutes, and we'll really start to wake up, and then we'll run away with it. So I think 4-1 Bruins. I'll go. I'm probably going to be wrong with the score, but I hope I'm right. I hope it's 10-0.
How nice would that be if we just put up 4 goals? Garden would be rocking.
I think Pasta is going to score the eventual game-winning goal, whenever that is.
I'll put him down as scoring a goal in Game 5. He has to. I think he will.
I think he'll definitely get redemption. So it'll be an interesting game. I mean, this is as close to Game 7 for now as it's going to get. I don't envision any lineup changes or anything changing, but I just think we got to go back to what we did in the first couple of games, which is just, controlling the tempo. Because whoever controls the tempo is really controlling the series. Islanders controlled really games 2 through 4, and Bruins took care of it in Game 1. But, that's what's the X factor.
It was looking good after Game 1. I had all the confidence in the world, but, we know the Islanders are a good team, and they're going to play us hard. So not shocked to see it being such a tight series. So
it's been a fun series so far, and it will continue to be. And the team that loses this one is going to be heard about this one probably for a while, but the team that moves on is going to have all the momentum, and it's going to be the Bruins, or hopefully it will be the Bruins, or it will be the Bruins.
Thanks.
Knock on wood. All the confidence in the world. Go Bruins tomorrow, but it will be. I won't say anything else. I'm just going to be neutral. Go Bruins. That's all I'll say.
God, you better win.
Honestly, it's I'm already nervous for it, and it's less than 24 hours away. But go Bruins. Game 5 is tomorrow. That is going to do it for this recap. Thank you all for watching. I'm going to remind you to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. There will be more Red Sox recaps coming in soon. Me and Ricky are going to be doing a 2-series recap probably sometime soon. Celtics recap, off-season previews will be coming soon. More of these Bruins recaps will be coming. We will have another one right after Game 5. And then we will have Patriots recaps coming when their season resumes, as well as Survivor and Big Brother recaps once those shows come back on the air in the summer and fall. So look forward to all this new content on the channel, as well as personal interviews. I always forget to say that one at the end. But just look forward to all these new shows. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Let us know what you like, what you didn't like, what you like about us, what you don't like about us in the comments. We will talk to you after Game 5. Brian, once again, thank you for doing this with me.
Of course.
We will see you soon. Go Bruins, as I said for the millionth time in the last minute. Take care.